a war to put fear into the heart of the enemies.
Yeah, yeah, true. Look, I understand and I agree with what you're saying. But right now, strategically and militarily, we're not ready. You know, right now they've got more assault weapons in this country than people right now. And the ones who hold the majority of those assault weapons are these ultra right wing white supremacist groups. If we try to roll with them toe to toe with
No,
on a military level, we'll get
no.
wiped out because we're
The
not
approach,
ready.
the approach that
Why?
as
That
a
that is why I'm saying we need to join with other countries.
yeah, in the
But
UNIA, we had a UNIA call about this in Atlanta just the other day. As far as I live in a neglected black community or neighborhood. Like, if we're going to approach, okay, these communities need to police themselves, and we need to
yes,
have the human right to self defense, the United Nations human right, or the Black UNIA human right to self defense. We have the Black Panther Party. We have Black Panthers worldwide. Nigeria has Black Panthers. The Biafra has their Jaguar Force. The Black India, where Kamala Harris is from, has their own Black Panthers. Nobody ever
We
talks
need to
about that. Uh,
force.
yeah, but
yes,
also the Caribbean, which we were talking about, they have an African Royal Defense Force. They've been looking for something like the UNIA to come on board, where hey, we start talking about organizing the Caribbean and Africa and having our own security. And they have, these associations, Caribbean Government Association. They have all the U.S. military vets, Caribbean military vets, and in fact, I was talking to some Igbo military vets or people in that network. They're going to be in Haiti next year, but it's going to be a tight network. We have basically, I'm in Southeast USA, Atlanta, Miami, Jacksonville. We have a tight network with the Caribbean forming, and we could use Northeast and go from there. We could extend up north and just have a dual system in the USA. Just keep in contact. It's good that everybody here is connected to either Atlanta or New York UNIA, and the cities
Have
up
you seen
northeast.
my website?
Yeah.
Have you seen my website with the facilities, the assets that I have on the site for reaching out to our brothers and sisters all over the world and
Mhm.
to forming ourselves a militia, contact the United Nations for those countries there that are tied in the United Nations also with us, you know.
I
We
think
can reach out to them. We should reach out to countries who have the same problems we're having.
like my background. I think it's up to maybe a larger forum to decide that. I've had my experiences with the United Nations, and I have my own view. I have a different view. I could state it, but I have a different view about the United Nations and why they're not reaching out to uh, the people that they say that
Well,
they're supposed to be
link,
defending.
I have a link that's not the United Nations per se,
Mhm.
but it is a security task force, and it includes what's the North Korean leader name? Zong Yong Kun or something like I don't know his name,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
yeah, um South American presidents and whatnot, you know, African presidents and whatnot, you know.
Regardless of my opinion, and my opinion, regardless of who wins, there should be a plan in place. But even there is a recent development in the Northeast where a uh, Caribbean Association, and the city council formed the UNIA. So and it was one of those cities with a reparations task force. So there's a possibility that a lot of Caribbean associations rapidly start working with city government and black communities to actually form a type of reparations based UNIA that has government clearance. to do a lot of these things. I've been sharing some flyers in the background, but a brother,
We ain't
brother,
gonna get government clearance. We ain't never gonna get that, brother. I disagree with you. We never gonna get government clearance. We gotta go according to international law and set up our own thing.
I'm my background is actually I have a background from a different nation, Nigeria, but we have our issues trying to get our own human rights in the United Nations and helping. But if you know the United Nations background, it was called the
I'm
League of
not
Nations.
saying United Nations per se, because I know
Uh-huh.
the Europeans control that. The
Hmm.
Europeans control the United Nations.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
I understand.
Europeans control
Yeah,
the United Nations.
so you're
That is
saying
not
different.
exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
That is not exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean I'm sorry, you can go ahead, but you meant like different nations in general.
Right, I'm talking not different nations in general,
Uh-huh.
because if it's in general, we getting our enemies involved with us, and we don't want that. We want the countries who are going through the same type of problems we're having with European nations and the U.S., and we want different countries who feel the same way we feel. We need to build our militia. We need to get all our organizations out here, the Hebrew Israelites, the Wapians, the Black Panthers, the NFAC coalition. It's the Not Fucking Around coalition. We need all these organizations coming together. We need the UNIA involved. We need FOI Nation of Islam involved. We need December 12th movement. You name it, Black Lives Matter. You name it, any organization that's about our people. We all need to come together, and we
Hmm.
need to reach out to other countries who are going through the same problem we're having. That's the United Nations I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's that UNIA idea. So we have a group with that in place. So I agree totally. What I would I agree totally. So this is a good call. They say that the House of Kingdom say one person is never alone. They always have 10 people supporting them. Everybody has their own network. So we're on United Nations in general. So we're gonna keep
Yeah, and
this going. Yeah, we're gonna keep this going.
if
I want to.
they take one of us out, if
Yep,
they take one of us out, we take 10 of them out.
that's human rights. I wanted to say to brother Mark because even there's a lot of connections in that northeast network of cities and SEMO TAP uh, and the UNIA. There's a lot of. Is there a possibility that us down south could have some sort of permanent broadcast and communication with people up north? I've seen WBAI. I've seen different things like I
Oh,
don't know if
yeah.
there's a broadcast
That's your
opportunity.
brother Rob Harper. He has a Zoom program.
Ross
Yeah.
Marvin. Go ahead.
You
Yeah.
mentioned brother Ross Marvin, and he has a Zoom program to keep us all connected.
Yeah. That's what I've been. That's what I've been waiting for all this time. I mean, not waiting for, but trying to do what I could on my end to have this kind of communications network. Not only a communications network, but an information and a news media network of our own, an independent news media network of our own. Right? We don't want to have to depend on CNN or MSNBC. I mean, BAI, they laid the foundation a long time ago, right? And there's a lot of a lot of excellent programs on WBAI, to which I was a member when I was in New York. I was a member and I was a volunteer. Uh,
I used to go
and
on WPAI.
really, okay.
You go on there. You
What
are you
what
familiar with Dr. Al Haj Idris Abdullah Muhammad?
I'm bad on names. Of I probably met the brother, but that's one hang up that I have is I'm not well at remembering names, but if I saw him, I'll most likely recognize him.
Oh, he
So,
had me on he had me on WBAI before for our political prisoner issues.
excellent, excellent. All right. What you were saying, what you were saying, I agree with what you're saying that we need an international connection. We needed that when Malcolm was still alive. That's why they assassinated him, because they took the OA he took the model of the OAU and developed the OAAU. And then when he connected with Dr. King, these rednecks were so scared. They said, "Look, eliminate the both of them. We don't care if they become martyrs. They're too dangerous to be on this planet." So I agree. The thing is, like in terms of waiting for other international uh, of
No need
organizations to
for
support
that.
us, I mean, it's as much as it's needed, it's not enough based on the dynamics that we're facing right now, because of getting back to the issue of the United Nations. The General Assembly isn't in control of the United Nations. It's the UN Security Council, right? And they're running the shots over what's going on in Gaza right now. And the whole world is watching genocide in real time in Gaza, and all and there's only so much that they can do about it. Same here. Like, if I mean, we're dealing with a good cop, bad cops scenario when it comes to the election of come November, right? But if Trump gets in power and he does everything he says he's going to do, we will have the support from international organizations, but there's going to be a limit to what they can do to support us if we end up going through some version of what they're going through in Gaza. Because I remember when the brother Mike Brown in Missouri was killed by that cop.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time they militarized the police. They was coming out with armored cars and weapons we've never seen before. Right, and that's a preview of what right now this guy Trump. if if uh if a black man gets assassinated, or like the sister who just got shot in the face, Sister Sonia Massey,
Mm.
right? If she gets shot with Trump in power, the police will have total immunity. They won't even have to go to court. If we go to the street and try to protest that, we will be facing the National Guard or even the 101st Airborne with live ammunition prepared to shoot
That,
into the crowd.
that is why old routines of the past are not going to work in this situation. Old
Not by
routines of
not by
violent
itself.
protesting, old
Not by itself. It will be an ingredient. It will be a part of a larger plan. Yeah, the militia is important. The militia is important, but by itself, it's not going to be enough. That's one thing that I'm saying. And
That's why I'm saying reach out to other countries.
yes, we have to do that, but that by itself is not enough. You have to apply everything in a holistic approach, in a holistic manner. Everything's got to work right now.
Mm-hmm. And
That's the way. That's the only way it's going to work.
I want to put
True
this.
indeed.
I, I,
Yeah.
I want to put
That's
this
why I
out.
was saying that all of the organizations that we have out here who have our people's interests at heart need to come together no matter who they are. Let's agree to
No,
disagree.
I wanted to interject because I did mention about having
Yeah.
access to military overseas and countries that are sympathetic. You know, the Sahel Alliance, the Biafra, the East Africa Federation, these guys, the Mano River Union. We have federations overseas, the Caribbean. We have a network there now of local government networks. But this is the issue. And the brother Mark, I want you to speak on it because you mentioned it, the OAAU, having a structure body, even as simple as this one, where, hey, like I said, the WBI, can we get somebody to host a call? We have an office, you have somebody that hosts a call. Can we get somebody to, like, you guys are in two different cities, and I reached out to a lot of people, but that's the issue. Like, there's not even a structure of somebody. This is the secretary, or this is the contact, so we could get the voice out. Like, it doesn't even have to be super structured at this point. It could be this is the person we send files to, and this is the spokesperson, or like so. It
I
just needs a
I
basic
had
structure,
a
or basic
I
structure, or
had
broadcast.
yeah, I had a telecommunications network sometime in the past, similar to what the U.S. has as a 911 network, and it had people who we could reach out to in emergencies and stuff like that there. But reaching out to some people these days, they don't want to answer you back. I
Yep.
send out tons of emails. I send out tons of emails with all kinds of information on. I don't know if you're familiar with my website.
Hmm.
No, I'm not, brother.
Yeah, my
Okay.
website has a lot of assets on it that I could
Okay.
set up. I could go back and reestablish the same sort of telecommunications network
Yeah.
that I had before. You know,
Okay.
and contact those who we should reach out in times of need, times of crisis, times of emergency and stuff, and have them
Yeah.
at the ready. But the
Yeah.
thing is, will they respond? Because if they're not responding to emails and they give me their email addresses, what makes us think that they're going to respond to anything else?
And
Well, you
this is
see,
the
that's
issue. But I just wanted to comment. I have people like that who can respond, and international contacts in Boston, like the demographics, Haitian. I have Igbo contacts in Boston that could work with you, brother Mark, and mobilize. But I'm looking at Philadelphia having a lot of strong movements. And I'm looking actually that I don't really have contacts in New York. I have elders and things of that nature. But I don't.
I'm in New York, brother. This is Dr. Shams. I'm in New York.
Okay.
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 Um,
As
well, one
let's say
one of the
OAAU in New York, like that's what. Maybe let's focus on that. The WBAI could
oh
help
no,
raise that awareness.
yeah.
I was thinking.
Okay, but please understand the OAU is no longer in existence.
Hmm.
I was using the OAAU as an example from a historical perspective.
Hmm.
Of now, WBAI is a powerful instrument for us to make our connections. But what was just mentioned before about people not returning emails or calls, that's just one example of the challenge that we have to face when it comes to getting all of these organizations to unite and work together. That's a
Hmm.
gargantuan task right now. I think one of the ways that we can do that is by focusing on one particular issue that we have to pay attention to right away, right? That we can all agree upon has to be dealt with and focus from there.
Well,
And
it
then the
seems like
connections
brother.
and then the connections we establish in the process of struggling on that one particular issue, that's when we can build our relationships with the other organizations who are participating. I think that's one way where we can establish connections. Otherwise, we'll be just making calls and sending emails like crazy, and we won't get a response.
And my thing was the OAAU. It actually kind of does exist still as a heritage network, but in New York.
Oh,
But my thing is just having that concept of an African American union, a Freedmen's Bureau, or something like that. It could function as any organization that wants to, like, let's say, for example, WBAI. Let's say we funnel all our calls to them, and they're the official organization that brings people together, or any organization that volunteers to bring people together, or any individual that volunteers to bring people together. That would be the OAAU if it's working with other nationalities like the Haitian Association, the Jamaican Association, the Antigua Association, the Nigerian
Why don't I
Association.
share my
It just
contact
has to
with
work with
you?
people. It just has to work with other organizations, and then it's official. You know, they
Why don't I share my contacts with you and you share your contacts with me, and we see if we can't reach out to the different people that we have contact with. Maybe that's the start of getting them to respond.
in New York, we
Because
could do that. I have something called the Seven Principles of Kwanzaa in that language of one of the countries that wants to work with us. That they have their own freedom movement and militia, and it's a common issue in Africa. But I'm from one of those places, so I was thinking that something that could build power is the Seven Principles of Kwanzaa. Just put it in a international language that support it.
I
So
have
it's like
that
it
on
would
my
keep us
website too. That's on my website already. That's what. Let me tell you what my website is. My website is on the internet, known as Not Helpful USA Legislations People.threesites.com.
Mhm.
Hold on a minute.
The only problem with that is that if Trump gets in the office, it's in jeopardy of being taken down.
Mm. So I
So
spent
we
Okay.
gotta move that fast. We gotta move that fast.
I didn't get the website. Could you give me a minute to write it down so I can look it up? How do you spell it?
NOT. It's better for me
NOT?
to say it because if I spell it, you're gonna get confused. It's better for me to say it. And I'm
Well,
quite sure
I'm having trouble hearing because there's still that distortion noise. So so I need you to say it because just to spell it, because if you say it, I may misspell it and I won't find your website. So
I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna spell it. It's
okay.
not NOT
NOT.
helpful okay, not helpful
Yeah.
NOTHELPFUL not
Okay.
helpful
Okay.
USA
USA.
legislations LEGISLATIONS
Mhm.
Okay.
not helpful USA legislations, that's plural, legislation with an
Yeah.
S, people, PEOPLE,
Okay.
not helpful USA legislations, people,
Yeah.
dot brave site, BRAVE, brave, like courage, brave, sites, SITES.com.
Mhm.
If you had
So
a
that is
computer
the
right
thing.
now, let me
that's
know if you can find it. If you had a
that's
computer right now,
that's a long web address, my brother.
I know
Okay.
it is. I know it
Yeah.
is.
All
I
right.
know it is. But it's a serious website. It's a serious website.
Let me see if I can find this. All right. You know, um,
So
WBAI.
mhm.
WBAI is one example of one of our most powerful resources, right?
Mhm.
WURD in Philadelphia could be another powerful resource. They're not as strong as WBAI, but they
Nah, do
got a
you
lot
have
going
you
on.
have contacts with them? Because I was actually just looking at them on having a strong movement or people in that network. You have contacts with that radio station? I know exactly who you're talking
One,
about.
yeah, I was in contact with one of the um there was a lawyer who has a program there. I think on every Wednesday. I can't remember his name like right now, but he would be a good contact.
So
I'll
I
see
was
if I
looking
can.
at okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna need that contact. I don't want to say need, but that would make it very powerful. Let me put it like this, because I was raised in California. I'm from a different country, or my family is, but now I'm living in the
Yeah,
South, and I'm looking at the travel between the cities. And you moved around, so you know that the cities in the Northeast, there's a cluster of cities that are maybe a bus ride away or a train away. They're
yeah,
very. So that's what happened with the hip hop movement that we all know is in the Northeast in New York. Is if you set up a musical industry or something in one, you set up a shop in one area, somebody could see your setup and copy it in another city, and it becomes a cultural phenomenon. It becomes something that
yeah,
everybody follows. So it's the
Let me
Northeast.
tell you something. Let me tell you something. More than communication, we need transportation. Because if communications get knocked out, if websites start going down, and we have each other's address, we could always stay in contact. And we need transportation too. We need to know brothers and sisters who have vehicles who can help take us around to stay connected.
yeah,
So second to communication is transportation, but I would put transportation first.
yeah, yeah. I hear you, brother.
That's crazy. This is
Um,
crazy. I know I have a. If you look at the document, nobody reads the documents that I sent out because even me, I don't touch them too much. But I changed. I put Swahili into the leadership structure. I put a MZ as an elder as one of the instead of president, and I put a secretary or somebody that holds documents, a record keeper, as a basic structure of starting a UNIA on your block, on your neighborhood, and it could expand like, oh, okay, like a parent teacher association or a block association or a
yeah,
state association. This is the person that kept getting elected or recognized as the elder or the family leader within this culture. Or it's expansive, I think. So, like for example, if we use WBAI, maybe Shams is a record keeper uh, in New York for his block, or maybe he's elected as the best person to keep records in the whole county, or so on. So it just keeps expanding, and all you just need is okay. So maybe this is the spokesperson, the person who hosts the radio show, or something like that, or maybe
yeah,
it turns out to be somebody else. It's just who can take the records or the documents, and who can maybe just basically be a talking head.
yeah.
Or
All of all of
Brother,
that is all of
did you
that is beautiful, but it's going to be an incredible amount of work. It's not going to be an easy task right now. Um, there was again, please excuse me, because again, I get that block when it comes to remembering names. But there's the one brother who's part of UNIA, I believe Chorizo. He's uh
that's
he's
me.
the assistant. Hmm?
Kizoro, me.
Oh man,
I'm in
are
Jacksonville.
you? Well, I'm talking about the brother up in New York.
Oh,
He's the assistant to Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Dr. J. Are we
know
talking
about
about
the
the?
small? Because I have, I The reason why I call myself a doctor is because I had those professors. Professor Leonard Jeffries was one of my professors.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Of anyway, from what I understand, the brother who helps take care of Dr. J, he's part of the UNIA network up in New York.
You talk
We talked with.
small.
Hmm? No, I'm not talking about Dr. Small.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about Dr. Jeffries, Dr. J.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Another thing, the Afro descendant nation, they wanted to become part of the United Nations. They said there's 193 countries connected to it right now, and they wanted to be 184th, the Afro descendant nation, talking about reparations and bringing our people together and all that.
Oh, that's a
right.
reminder. That's a reminder. This is actually supposed to be connected to them. I had a call with them. They're based in D.C., with attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz. I talked to the brother Ali, and he's actually in Africa. But the town hall, the whole idea of a union based on, the U.S. freedmen, the Jamaica, everybody working together.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tie that together. Now, he's based in D.C. and Baltimore. They have connections to the New York Panthers and UNIA New York. Uh,
Yeah.
so now it's like, should we invite them together? Like, who? But the thing with who, if we continue these calls, who would maintain them? Maybe I could help maintain them. But eventually,
It's not.
it could grow so big. Somebody has to take a position as far as who's going to maintain the thing and keep the decisions and the meetings and minutes. Because I can call people from different nationalities, but they already have their structure and they're tied to deadlines overseas. So it's kind of.
Well, that's the thing that I'm talking about right now.
Uh-huh.
Everything we're talking about is beautiful, but it's a gigantic project right now, and the amount of work that it's going to take just on a citywide level or townwide level is going to be an unbelievable amount of work.
Doctor,
So, in fact, the amount of work.
I'm telling you, Zoom seems to be where it's at. Zoom meetings on Zoom.
uh-huh. Yeah, Dr. Sham, do you have anybody in New York that you rely on, or people that you think is reliable? If we had a New York call, for example, let's say.
Bro, I just got in contact with the Brooklyn UNIAACL president, Brother Rodney Duguay. I'm gonna see if I can talk to him right after we finish here
Uh-huh.
and see if he, if he likes to be connected, because he looking for members too.
No, he's from Haiti, actually. So my thing is like, they got a UNIA. Could there be a department for African Americans to meet and have a assembly and say this is what we decided under the UNIA? Because the UNIA could just be an umbrella where you invite the ambassadors. I mean, it's been suggested. You can
I
invite the
have
ambassadors,
self-government.
have them meet with the
I
African
have a
Americans.
self
Yeah.
I have a self-government. The website that I hope I was able to look at just now.
I couldn't find the website. I couldn't find the website, but I typed not helpful USA legislations people brainsites.com. I couldn't find it. It didn't pop up.
I'm gonna show the format that I saw. I saw a flyer, and I'm gonna show the format because you guys answered the call. But Doctor, no, Brooklyn, you and I, the brother Duguay, he's from Haiti. He knows the structure that I'm talking about. The brother, President General Duncan, he's from Jamaica. They're familiar with how the structures are mirroring each other and how they're expansive. So I think, just to really actually to be realistic, the structures all have to be identical to each other. They can't be so scattered. I know this. I know it's a gigantic task, but if it's structured properly, it minimizes what needs to be done. Like earlier, we mentioned a whole
Agreed.
bunch of organizations. but that talking about coming together, but the responsibility of okay, these are some maybe even stock market. We said that for years. Can you run this program? People won't answer, but everybody talk about coming together. But can you take responsibility uh, and make sure that these things are functioning and people are taken care of? Because that's what a mutual aid society is or association is. You're supposed to take care of the
I'm,
membership.
I'm
So
telling you,
it's not about
we
bringing
need,
people together if you can't take care of them.
we need
Bottom
locales,
line.
we need locales, and we need transportation.
We were talking about the Mortal Corps in UNI Atlanta. We were just talking about driving and how that was actually part of the association at one point. So I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I could. I haven't talked to President Duguay. I text him, but I think they would be welcome to helping people mobilize different branches and departments and working with the ADN. Yeah, we just. But if yeah,
There's yeah. There's another organization called Afrocentricity International, and at one point, briefly, I was working with the Philadelphia chapter. Now, they was holding their meetings at in the organization in Germantown of Dr. Malefikete Asante's organization, but at the time they was looking for a spot of their own. I can give you the contact information for Afrocentricity International. See if you guys would want to connect. In light of the powerful of radio stations that are still here, they're important. But with the technology is out there where we can build our own broadcasting network. As a matter of fact, what we need to do is build our own social network. Uh, because we put too much of our info out on the street on Facebook, where Mark Zuckerberg is making it became a billionaire off of us, and they're sharing our information to God knows who, right? And who owns Twitter? A Trump supporter,
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Right. So why are we going to put our information out there on their platform? We need to put together our own independent platform. Now, if we can do that, that could be an international platform uh, for our own town hall meetings and discussions, where and by having more independence, we can do a vetting process of our own, and we can beef up the security to know who comes in, and how sincere they are, or what their motives are. So we need to build that, because we're at a point right now where government surveillance is unprecedented.
Mhm.
They'll know who you are. If you jaywalk across the street, they'll know who you are and will put your face up on a billboard before you get to the other corner. So, I mean, that's what we're competing with right now. So the first thing, because communication and finding a common denominator among all of the organizations to unite with is important. We should start with our own platform, our own uh, social network,
Mhm.
and it can be done. There are black owned social networking sites that are already out there, so we can either unite with them, build our own, or do both
Yeah,
and reach out.
I'm looking at it at a government level because I'm gonna put it out there. Philadelphia already put together some of the things I'm talking about at a government level, and some they have. I'm gonna share it once we get off the call. and you guys can maybe text it your response or just take it in. But I see Philadelphia's had a government level international network with Africans and Caribbean people, and I'm seeing uh, African Americans join, and they got a reparations task force for people who take that seriously. I do, because that can mean multiple things. But Philadelphia has a lot, and I was wondering. You mentioned Word. I've seen people. I don't know if you know Brother Shamari. I think he's
You
involved.
took the words out of my mouth. I was about to mention Brother Shamari.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's involved in what I'm talking about. I shared the photo, but I'm gonna share it again.
Okay.
He's involved in what I saw. Now the AME Church, the global AME Church that Kamala Harris speaks at, the historical, church. Philadelphia hosted something with the political prisoner. I forget his. I apologize, brother Jamil.
Mumia.
No, Jamil, I
Oh,
think
oh,
is.
in Atlanta.
In Philadelphia, the brother. I'm sorry, is it H. Rap Brown?
No,
Um,
he's formerly H. Rod Brown
yeah, what's
of.
it? Yes, they did. The AME Church stepped out and did something to honor that brother and his
Yeah,
liberation. So the church
yeah,
has
but
stepped out.
he's located in Atlanta. He's located in Georgia.
Mm.
In Philadelphia, it's Mumia Abu
Uh,
Jamal.
I'm
And
gonna look that up because I think what it was is that they, even though he's in Atlanta, they held an initiative to free him. I think that's what I saw, but I'm gonna look it up
okay,
because it was on SEMA and it is recorded, so I'm gonna look it up. Uh,
yeah,
so I think they did something. It's good that the church is basically reinforcing self determination and reparations. That's what the ADN is about.
yeah,
Um, So I'm looking at Philadelphia. If we just start with Philadelphia and what they have going on, the radio, the churches, the activists, Afrocentricity International. I think they deal with children as far as maybe educating them financially. And we just
yeah,
start saying, okay, I know I got contacts in Boston. Um, as far as the Haitian Association, the Igbo connections, they're meeting in Haiti next year on a military tip. As far as
okay.
maybe securing the country.
Well, yeah, because look, on the subject of Haiti, because to be honest, there's been so much going on with what I've been dealing with. I haven't been up to date on everything that's been going on with Haiti, and there's a lot of confusion going on with that. There's, some of the customers and some of the friends who I've talked to who are Haitian, you know, they thought that it was Jean Bertrand Aristide who was the villain. And so there's
What?
even within the Haitian community, there's a lot
Wow.
of confusion and misinformation out there.
Yeah.
So much so that
I never.
I'm
Wow.
yeah. You
There's an
see,
ambassador out there for what it's worth. I know. I never heard of something like that. I heard he got kidnapped by the U.S. government and dropped off in Africa.
yeah, yeah, it was,
Maybe as some sort of cruel joke.
no, it was. They did that twice.
Wow.
They did that. They did that under uh, Daddy Bush, uh, on Herbert Walker Bush, and then they did that a second time under Baby Bush.
Mm.
When they did the first coup um, with um, his military defense minister was behind it, and he connected with the help of the CIA. They played a role in the overthrow of the first
Hmm.
Aristide government, and that's when there were death squads that were killing people like crazy. They literally had killing fields in Haiti, and
Mm.
the one person who was the head of that killing squad, Emmanuel Constant,
Mhm.
He ended up living in Queens with his mother.
Mm.
I mean, there's a,
I'm from Igbo land, and they ritualize the Igbo people, and we have a connection in Boston with Haiti and Igbo land. Some of them are
yeah,
in Jamaica right now. You know, Jamaica is part of the British Commonwealth, so they got
yeah,
20 countries in the Caribbean that they're down there right now networking, building that network across like whatever 20 or 14. I think it's 14 British countries. I think I exaggerated. But they got the French Haiti Caribbean connection. They got the British Caribbean connection. We got a Dutch UNIA Caribbean connection. So we have the international network. That's why I just said I'm rushing these calls. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I'm like, we got the Caribbean networks, different languages. We crossed the language barrier. Now, what can we do in the USA? We had a Southeast meeting, Atlanta, Miami, and Jacksonville, the Gullah Geechee connection. We have maybe three cities at least in the Southeast. So now I've heard Philadelphia word. I think is strong. We have we between us we have a strong Boston network um, that can answer. Brother Mark, you've been really good at answering and communicating. New York, actually, as far as if we're going to get an African American network together that could work with these different governments in place and nations, New York is kind of dry unless the WBAI with the brother McIntosh is involved. I think that's the strongest network I saw as far as African American communication network. But that's just
well,
my observation. But I'm literally
yeah,
writing it down of trying to map it out. What's the common denominator? But I know Boston and Philadelphia might be
Finding my
strong.
website.
yeah.
I had no trouble finding my website though.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah, Dr. Shams, I don't know your network, but from in New York, you talked about Leonard Jeffries and things like that. Uh,
yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I didn't. I thought you were a recent transplant to New York. You said you're trained under, or you studied under Dr. Jeffries.
I
Yeah,
studied under Dr. Leonard Jeffries and Professor J. Wall. I studied under both of them in
that's
State University of New York. In my undergraduate years, I had 2 bachelor art degrees and then
Wow,
nearly completed master's. 80 credits required, 92 on the master's level. And I'm a self-ordained doctor of divinity.
wow, wow.
First ordained by the Moorish American government. Brother Eliu Nathalie Pleasant Bay, Dr. Perharu, Dr. Agnan Perharu Bay.
So these are all in your network as we speak in New York.
Well,
So
I'm not in contact with Professor Leonard Jerry, Professor J. Wall, but I did study under them.
oh, I
well,
have
I have a link. I have a link to the Moorish American government. You
okay.
can reach out to them if you want to, but they're not very effective. They want to lay back and be on peace missions with the U.S. and whatnot. They could set up an established government. It's not going to work like that.
Mm. Brother
could you
Mark,
do? Could you do?
brother Mark, do you have?
Yeah,
I have a question with the brother McIntosh because he's powerful in SEMA Tap, and that's a media. You know, media to me is mind control because you're instructing people what to do. Either you can shape it away where they listen. But brother James McIntosh is a powerful brother, in my opinion. Do you think he and Dr. Shams could work together as far as I don't know, because it's not on as far as a business and schedule wise? Because brother, what do you think just from what you're hearing? 'Cause I
well, we could try. We could try it. I'll tell you. Dr. McIntosh, he's got his hands full right now. He's pretty
yeah,
busy with a lot of things. But the best time to reach him is to join in on
schedule
his
call.
biweekly meetings on the progress of the networks
Netflix.
war. Right, Netflix war. But also On November 5th, they're going to have a demonstration in front of the Netflix headquarters in New York. So that might be the best time to connect with him directly
Mm-hmm.
and see what can be established. What I can do is send the last email if you don't already have it
Mm-hmm.
with the Zoom meeting. They use the same meeting ID and the same passcode. So
Yeah.
the next time that they should have one, which should be in another 2 or 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, I don't want
Uh,
to. I don't want to disrupt what he's doing because I know it's important work. But my approach has always been if we have this platform and we talked about all these organizations merging, like we'd have a
yeah,
larger voice to just to take it all down in one shot because we'd have a larger voice. So
yeah.
that's why I was thinking I don't want to pull him away from what he's doing. I was
Well,
just
not
thinking,
to pull him away, but basically to be up on what he's working on, and when the time is appropriate, just contact him via email and establish something and tell him what UNIA is working on to see
yeah. So
see
what
what
do you guys what do you both think about this? Because we talked about the let's say hypothetically we're able to gather this network and for example, Dr. Shams is helping spearhead it in New York. We could, let's say hypothetically everything is in place, and we would just reach out to Brother McIntosh for maybe I don't know a broadcast or something on WBI. Was that feasible, or do you think that?
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know. You could try it. All right.
Mhm.
But again, there are, the technology is at the point which will allow us to have our own broad platform to broadcast from,
Mhm.
and that could be the platform where we reach out to everybody. We do an
Mhm.
outreach from there to
Mhm.
attract everyone.
I
To
agree. I agree.
I agree.
I agree. We need to set that up immediately.
yeah,
I third that. Well, that's a good call. It's been an hour. What I have written down just notes. Philadelphia, the Word, the AME with
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
Boston with Haiti and Igbo connection that I have, and you have your connections, and
yeah.
then and New York. I could look into I could double check my contacts because
All right.
New York created an echo chamber with that 5 boroughs thing. That's a on paper, it's something that you could easily see how it can make things popular, having popular cities and or coordinating across cities or towns in close
Yeah,
proximity. So
yeah,
that's a strategy I've been looking at. But I could double triple check my New York contacts. I invited some here, but brother Shams picked up, so I'm going to look at what we could do in New York. But I'm marketing in my head that we can already do something with Philadelphia and Boston, and I will share that picture with both of you. The pictures and they're tied to. I'll share them with you as far as Caribbean associations and African Americans cooperating. But uh, I know Malefi Asante was there with Afro. I know there was a split with Afrocentricity International, uh,
yeah,
and I know he's connected to WBAI or Brother McIntosh. So I was
yes,
kind of that's another reason why I kept mentioning the brother McIntosh. But um,
yeah,
I mean, at this point, I mean, shoot, I could call him the elder emeritus. Maybe I mean, I'm gonna try and reach out to the brother. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to. He's doing he's very focused. Well, I don't know.
yeah,
I'll look
yeah,
into New York and see what I could get. But this was a good call. It's. I think it's that simple. If this is appendage to
Yeah.
if this is appendage to an African or let's say UNIA or African Government Association or Caribbean Association, they said now open the forum for the African Americans to talk, and maybe there's just a chairman and somebody who hits record to take the minute.
My
This could be
website
something.
is working. My website is working though. My website is working. You might want to try to type it in again.
Okay, Brother Sean, please send me a link. Please text me a link. That's the best way I can connect to your
You can
website.
put
That's
it
what I'm
again.
gonna do. I wrote down your number, being I can see it. 347-893-5119. I see
Yeah,
your number. I'm gonna text
Yes,
it to you.
yeah, that's
yes,
brother
yes,
Mark.
yes,
Brother Mark,
yes.
UNIA, he's in Boston. So I'm gonna follow up with you brothers, and I've already followed up with brother. I was on President Hargrove in Atlanta, UNIA, and
Right. I've been with their division for the longest. I just started making contact with the Brooklyn division there. Not
you're
long ago, I moved out here in Brooklyn. I used to be in the Bronx, but I always was with Division 421 Atlanta.
okay. Wow.
Okay, all
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I gotta look at
by
this.
the way, on WURD, look up the attorney. I forgot his name, but he calls himself the attorney at war,
Okay.
and he has two shows on WURD. All right, and on WBAI, there's a brother. He has a program called Haiti: The Struggle Continues. He is a walking library when it comes to everything that's been going on in Haiti. So I'll look up his information and I'll
I
take.
think I reached out to that brother. I think I know who you're talking about. But the thing is, well, even if I don't, I'm real careful with who I reach out to as far as if you're from a different nation, because sometimes I like to have direct contact with the people on the island where they can vote democratically and say this is what's going on. This is how many people support this ideology or viewpoint. Because what you have sometimes is, and I'm not saying this brother does it, but there is a possibility that the people on ground here have a different opinion than the people in their country, and they might have their own
Oh,
viewpoint. That yeah.
another thing about Elon Musk, he's paying people to vote for Trump. He's paying people $5 like $1 million.
Man, that man, Elon Musk is from South Africa. He's a beneficiary of.
Exactly.
Apartheid. I know. But anyway, he's for Trump, and Trump is totally against us. So, I'm just saying that Trump is looking like he's going to get in there, but Elon Musk is paying again.
I know. That's like that cheap, low class, But you see, that's why. Look, for the next between now and election day, I think Trump is the biggest threat to us as Black people across the diaspora. What most folks don't even know about was that Donald Trump is everything he says he is and more. He sterilized a young sister in Georgia. She was born in Cameroon and she grew up here. They put her in an ICE detention center, and they gave her a hysterectomy. That's the kind of future we're going to be having in this country if Donald Trump becomes president. This is not a drill. That's why between now and election day, I'm going to do everything I can on my end to try to get the word out there that we got to do whatever we can to make sure this guy stays in that McDonald's restaurant and doesn't come anywhere near the presidency.
Yeah, I remember. I'm gonna say it just to try to make lemonade out of lemon. I remember when he was in office last time. There was a heightened. I felt there was a heightened urgency to unite as Black people. But sometimes you want to be organized before the fire is in the house. I don't know. But
Exactly.
yeah,
and once he's out, we got to organize the next Trump wannabe. Who wants to pick up where he left off? You
What
know,
Yeah,
so
you know the best way to motivate somebody? Speak to them directly about their problem.
and Dr.
yeah,
Shams, this is another New York possibility that I just thought of, and I don't know if you want to close out after this, but the UNIA Brooklyn, I just was watching something. Well, they have their own radio show, and it's connected to the Caribbean. They call it community focused radio. So they have Haitian connections, Jamaican connections. So you coming in, Dr. Shams, maybe you could organize African Americans, and it would be an OAU or something sort of that name. Which what we've been saying is already in place. They're international. The Brooklyn division has international leadership. So you coming in now, maybe we. I think we have everything in place to actualize what we're saying. If we look at community focused radio, which is hosted by the leadership from Haiti and Jamaica, that's in the UNIA Queens and Brooklyn, I think. So I think they do a radio show together. So that I didn't think of that, but that is a possibility. I think where we could just that's there's a nucleus there. I'll say that.
all right. One other thing, you know, back in the uh, 80s and 90s, they had another powerful radio station, black-owned radio station called WLIB, and they was airing WLIB at the same time that WBAI uh, was on the air, and between the two of them, they were forced to be reckoned with.
Gary
So
Bird, Emotep Gary Bird, who was Amos
that's right.
Wilson. Amos
That's right.
Wilson. I used Amos Wilson to hypnotize and program myself. I said I'm going to need this later on in life. Let me try to memorize the hit point. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. So
WLIB.
okay,
LIB was no good. Yeah.
okay. The Caribbean. Yeah, the thing with the Caribbean, we've been able to. People talk about it's hard to organize Garveyism, and I broke it down to I've got a lot of pictures and programs in pictorial form, but I said the Caribbean could be organized based on language groups, and you could look into the town halls, the churches, the meeting places that already exist, and you could basically put a program into those pre-existing things. So a lot of people, maybe they're sensationalists, but there's places where people meet and you can disseminate information. Let's put it like that. And it's local. Sometimes it's part of their local government structure. And it's part of their democracy where you can put information into the grassroots level. Some people you might have to go to. Some places you might have to go to the churches to disseminate information. But it's all in place. It's been done before. That was the whole base of the UNIA. Started in the Caribbean, so that was the model. But things are in place in the Caribbean. Now this Northeast call, brother Shams didn't have that connection last time we spoke, but now he's connected to Brooklyn leadership, and I think this was a good call. I think that's going to be the linchpin for New York even organizing going forward. I think we have enough because my UNIA structure was that hey, let's just have an elder and a elder, which everybody's an adult, and somebody who keeps records, and we can record on using technology. So and look at the minutes, but it'll grow. But I think this was a good call for the and the ADN. We could tie this to the Afrodescendant Nation. I've had a call with them, so we have a strong. I think we have a strong. From my perspective and all the contacts I know we have, I think we have a strong Northeast and Southeast connection, Caribbean connection. So I'm gonna follow up with people, and maybe I'm gonna try to merge calls. I had removed a brother that actually is connected to. He's in Curacao. He's in the islands. We argue every day at this point, but he's connected to UNIA Brooklyn and that Caribbean leadership, and I removed him before it devolved into arguing because some of the people in the group, I think they didn't answer. I think just to get, they say silent treatment is torture. So I'll put it like that. I don't like when people are silent and you want me to raise my voice or something. I'm just remove a lot of people because it doesn't really take that
Yeah,
much
I
to organize.
agree, brother. You know, they give you their email address. If you send them emails on important stuff, and they don't even answer.
No,
You don't even know if
we
they
could.
looked at it.
Well, I think is
Well, I mean, that's
let's rally around the meeting points, like because anybody could do like
Well, they like them.
we could
They
rally
like
around the
them.
radio station or the UNIA Brooklyn. You could rally, people could rally around Brooklyn if they don't show up. You know, that's on them. 'Cause I'm not. My thing is, if you don't show up, somebody else will. So, because you don't, it's
They
not about
like
being self.
them.
Yeah.
They like them. I'm telling you, they like them.
yeah.
That's
Well,
why
look,
they have to do meetings. They like
this is
them.
Oh,
this is
Zoom,
no this yeah, this is
Zoom.
no
Gloom.
this is
Yeah,
yeah.
Zoom.
Oh, Zoom. Okay.
Yeah. Well, again, this is no small job. So this is something that may take years, if not decades, for us to build up. So
I don't
just
think that
need to
because of
understand that.
how dependent we are with it.
Mm.
Let's look at the bright side of things.
I
We
don't.
only had decades. We
Yeah, I
know
don't
what we
think.
have now.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, my whole strategy is that these international organizations. Like I grew up, I could show you. I'm from Mbaise, USA, organized. We have branches. All we're saying is, hey, can you have a African American forum when you're speaking? It's just saying. It's just basically we're adding an appendage to pre-existing organizations, saying, can you add a forum where these guys can speak? These are organizations already exist, so we're not building from scratch. We're just saying, okay, open your minutes up for the African Americans to speak, and that's what people. I think that's the thing that people don't like: the responsibility of being connected or having to change the culture to work with other cultures and nations. I don't. It's not actually hard if you. It's a shortcut. But it's like the people don't want change, and that's fine. But it's not. It's not going to be hard. It's a shortcut. Like I'm all about shortcuts. Not as long as
Okay.
it doesn't affect the outcome. You know.
As long as we're determined and dedicated to get it done. And soon, too.
Yeah,
Like
it's a shortcut,
now.
and I'm going to share that photo because it is a shortcut. Like I work African Americans working with the UNIA. That's Haitian and Jamaican. That's a shortcut. It's already in place for them to open the African American call or section of the call, and anybody can do that. Appendage themselves to a international group or international people. So, well,
Okay.
I'll follow up, but I'll send those two flyers I sent, and that's Boston, New York, Philly in a wrap. So we'll see how it goes, brother Shem. So I guess when you meet in New York and you find somebody African American, and you guys start wanting to organize, and I'll try to text Duncan and Dugay, and we'll see how. I think they're open
Yeah,
to it.
text me your email address, text me your contact information, email, phone number, whatever you want me to have, and I'll try to see if I can get you the rest of my contact information, like my location, what have you, in case anything goes down, you don't know how to find me or whatever.
Okay, I'll see. And as far as meeting again, would you? Because I don't know what way this is going to go. What do you brothers think as far as because the Atlanta Zoom was mentioned? But my thing is, we have a strong network in organizing in Atlanta and Jacksonville, Florida, Miami. We had people on the call. My thing is,
And it's
can we
started,
get this
I,
meet?
I tell you this, brother. I tell you this about Zoom. When it started, Zoom was better than started one because people know where to go.
Zoom? Okay, but my thing is on ground. I don't because Zoom could be Zoom bombed. Like I want to know who are the people on ground before we even have the Zoom. Who's going to be responsible for saying, oh, like in New York, who are the people in New York that are going to be filtering people in? Because I know the people in Atlanta that I'm talking to, the UNIA Atlanta, is our Black World Miami. I've talked to the NOI in Jacksonville. They're pretty responsive. Maybe some coworkers, maybe. But the thing is, I want to make sure New York is solid. I know Boston, they're government level people there. So I'll get off the call, but I'll get back to people on the strategy maybe going forward. I'll give my word
You're
that I'll
welcome
get
to
back
the
to you.
contact information. I'm gonna send you mine.
Send email.
Everything about your contact. I'm gonna send you
Oh,
my location, my contact, and everything.
okay. I got your number saved. I thought you had mine. Okay, I'll text you and I'll follow up. I'm gonna get off now, unless there's anything else to address.
Nah, we covered the bases, but we gotta get going with what we're talking about. We're gonna have another update meeting.
Update
Okay.
meeting. Uh, would you guys want to try to go daily, or because my thing is maybe we could just rotate people. I don't know. I don't have a problem with meeting daily until we have results, or because I feel
Uh,
like if we start going daily, maybe people from different cities could start rotating in and saying, "Hey, this is." As a matter of fact, the ADN, the African, like I had a meeting with the ADN. And I'm getting tired. I've been up all night. But the ADN could help with New York recruiting, and they wanted to be part of this. So we could do this every day and keep it rotating as far as who could contribute. It might not be the same people every day, but there was an agreement that we were going to move to physical town halls, and the ADN was involved, reparations, self-determination. So I'll get a
But
phone. Yeah,
hey,
it could
it's
be every
every
day.
day.
For me, it could be
I
every
don't
day.
know.
I think.
I don't know if I'd be in a position to do it every day, but at least once a week. Yeah, we can
Mhm.
connect once a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, yeah. By the
Five
way,
o'clock. 5 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock is the best time for me. 5 o'clock.
Yeah, because I'm tired. Because I get off at work at 2. I get back from home from the bus at 2 o'clock, and even now I fell asleep. You notice I was late. So I
yeah.
don't. Okay, but I'm not going to make an excuse. But if Brother Shams is 5 o'clock, then I'll agree to that. And my responsibility would be to, if I do fall asleep, have somebody that can take my place and keep it growing. Because it's something about momentum. I could think about this all day and find a way to make this work.
All
But
right. Myself, between now and election day, again, I feel it's important to try to get the word out there, to make sure that Trump doesn't get back in power.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we're
I'm
going
gonna speak to Rodney Duguay. I
yeah,
don't know if you talk about Raymond Duguay. If you talk about Raymond Duguay or Rodney Duguay,
I'm sorry, say that again.
Rodney or Raymond Duguay, because there's two of them. From what I understand, there's Raymond Duguay and there's Rodney Duguay.
I think you misheard. Unless you're talking to
Yeah,
me, I don't know. I think you was
yeah, I
talking
think
about the
it's.
elections.
Oh yeah, the presidential elections. I'm going to be focusing on that until election day. So that's that's going to be me doing whatever I can do from my end from
Mhm.
now until then. After then, like my time will free up to a point where we can focus on because
That's only two. That's only two
because
weeks, right? It's not.
yeah,
Well, let me say
that's
not 2 weeks, but I'm planning for doomsday. I'll say doomsday scenario because if Kamala wins, I can see a benign. Okay, let's just organize around. She always goes to the AME church, and she actually has connections to Black South India. So it's connections. It would be, but with Trump is a doomsday scenario. But I'm not the type to panic. I'm the type to plan for the worst. And if
well,
I yeah.
I don't mean to be a scaremonger, but um, I'm kind of seeing things for what I see. They are, and I think the African nations are depending on us to do what we can to make sure because the the what he's going to inflict. See, the other African nations don't have an opportunity to vote like we do,
Mhm.
right? So that's our only nonviolent means of taking this power away from this subhuman at this point, because he's going to inflict major destruction on our brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora if he gets in power.
We have to combine these calls as soon as possible, because that's why I'm going to do this Kwanzaa style and build up to Kwanzaa, and then a Juneteenth where we're having African
That's on my website.
Yeah, we're gonna
Brother
keep this
Southeast
going.
Florida. Brother Southeast Florida. Have you been able to access my website?
No, you're gonna have to send it to me. I'm gonna look at it, and I'm gonna get ready.
I think I texted you a few
Yeah,
times already.
I'm gonna look at it because you sent a lot of links, and then people were saying delete me from the group, and they're being rude. So I know there was a lot of negative energy. So, but I'm gonna look at the links, and we're gonna move forward. My word is, we could do it 5 o'clock tomorrow if you want to, or see who we're gonna try and rotate the group and see who can work.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it.
So 5 p.m. tomorrow.
I'll be ready. I'll be ready for you, brother.
Okay, I'm gonna see that, and I'll follow up and make follow-up calls.
5 o'clock tomorrow. I'm gonna make some phone calls right now myself too. But 5 o'clock tomorrow, we get back with it.
The more New York we have, the more presence we have in New York, the more we'll spread across the region and the country. Because well, the ADN, I'm gonna follow up. I'm kind of tired repeating myself, but all right, we'll follow up tomorrow 5.
All
right, peace.
I'm glad you called us. Good talking with you, brother. Take care.
Take care.